Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another version of my Dragons in Modern for this week. It's a Boros Sarkhan the Masterless deck. It's almost really Gideon tribal at this point, but I'm looking to turn a lot of Planeswalkers into 4/4 flying dragons and swing in for lethal and one-shot our opponent. And along the way, we are playing some powerful value creatures like Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer, and just blanking on the name of it. Well, Urza Saga's lands, of course, to make Karnstructs, so that's one of our alternative win plans, and Esper Citadel is one of our value creatures. And then we have 2/3 drop Gideons, Gideon Blackblade, and Gideon, and blanking on the name. Alright, well, this is why we're testing the deck. We also need to practice remembering their names. But, so we're going to need to get, unfortunately, a white source if we're going to get this Gideon down on time. It'll come to me. We've practiced a few different versions, and I had a couple really nice games that I thought were fun. That we won 2 and lost 1, but then the sound didn't record for whatever reason. So unfortunately, I don't get to show you those. And then I've tweaked the deck because it was just a little too top-heavy, given how few lands we're playing, and I assume our Ragavan's about to die. Yep, prismatic ending. So we can dash in this Ragavan to get a treasure token. Set us up for, give us a little ramp. Looks like we're playing control. Yeah, so this is, we were playing 2 copies of Karn. Karn, Scion of Urza, and Karn, the Great Creator. I guess 2 Ragavans are nullified by 2 Sarkhans. And then we were playing 4 copies of Sarkhan the Masterless. So we had 12 cards that were 4 mana or more. And then we had the 3-drop Gideon. Ooh, Burning Inquiry. Each player draws 3 cards, then discards 3 cards at random. Should we cast that? I mean, I don't really like our hand that much. It's probably just fueling our opponent's strategy. We're going to do it. See what we get, what our hits are, see what our opponent's up to. What did we get rid of? Gideon and Blackblade. So we got rid of our Elegant Parlor, Gideon Blackblade, and Relic of Progenitus. They're playing one with the Multiverse, Omniscience. Return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Alright, yeah. Talking to my opponent. Okay, so I don't even know what our opponent did. I was just too busy chatting with him. Unfortunately, we lost our Gideon Blackblade, which was going to be our turn 3 play. So we're going to dash in this Ragavan again. Opponent's already down to 11, but I don't think it's really going to matter. And this is one with the multiverse. I don't think we'll be playing that anytime soon. We'll go ahead and fetch. And we probably should wait to do this till our opponent's turn, just so we have more information about what they're up to. But alright, Karn, Sign of Urza. I mean, we're going to keep it. So that's the Karn we chose to keep. So instead of keeping Karn the Great Creator, which is in almost every situation the better card, Resurgent Belief, I already know what they're doing. How much time do we have? Probably not enough. I think we're about to lose to an Omniscience and one with the Multiverse and all other sorts of shenanigans. Anyway, I went with Karn, Sign of Urza because we play Karnstructs and it makes Karnstructs. And Karn the Great Creator, I mean, come on. He is just... I'm not sure he has enough jank level for me. One-time counter, so we're going to get... unfortunately, they're going to get all of that stuff back and then probably win the game. So what are we going to do? We're going to probably lose... Alright, so I don't even know if we should do anything else, to be honest, because our opponent is just about to go off and do some busted things. They're at 11, so let's play it out like we can win the game next turn. So we can go ahead and dash in a Ragavan, maybe. I mean, they have... If we don't dash in the Ragavan, then we're just... if we do dash in the Ragavan and they have an answer, then we're left... doing nothing this turn, so go ahead and try to run out this Karn, Scion of Urza. I think our opponent just doesn't care about anything we're doing because they're about to get back an Omniscience. Go to make the Karnstruct and then let our opponent have their fun and then probably go to game 2. We do play main deck. We do play Rest in Pieces in the sideboard for this type of matchup where we're playing against Graveyard shenanigans. And we already have that. We do have the Relic. We didn't see an Urza Saga, nor did we. And we also milled our Relic with the Burning Inquiry, which clearly when your opponent's playing Burning Inquiry, they're going to get more value out of discarding than we are. However, it's a practice game. We had a bad hand. We didn't necessarily draw a better hand, unfortunately, and our opponent got to do what they're about to do. One with the Multiverse and Omniscience onto the battlefield. So we'll F6 and just watch the show for now. But lesson for viewers who are new to Modern, if you do reveal a Burning Inquiry from your Ragavan, unless you also want to fill your graveyard, it's almost always better not to cast it, because it's really just going to help your opponent. Alright, so opponent's going to basically draw their entire deck because they can cast everything for free. We'll see what their win con is. So they're going to be able to cast everything for free, and then every time they cast it, they're going to draw 2 cards, so they're never going to run out of action. And I imagine a Storm, maybe there's a Storm deck, maybe it's going to be a Thassa's Oracle, where they draw their whole card, or draw the whole deck down to 0. We'll let them have their fun for a few minutes. They have 32 cards in their deck. They have to draw all the way. They theoretically could just run out of cards, right, and eventually draw only lands. But I have a feeling they have some way of avoiding that. So Otherworldly Gaze, they're casting with flashback, so they can't use Omniscience because you can only cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So maybe they'll run out of action. It seems really unlikely, though, given how often that they are. I mean, they're going to be drawing 2 cards for every spell they cast. So, what did we learn about our deck? Well, other than don't cast your opponent's Burning Inquiry, since I got off to that rough start with even my commentary about Gideons, but we cut the Karn, the Great Creator, and made room for Gideon Blackblade to lower our curve, but still keep our Planeswalker count high. We picked Karn Scion of Urza over Karn Great Creator just because it makes constructs and synergizes really well with Urza Saga. And then that gives us an alternate win condition. And also we play Karn the Great Creator in some other decks, and it just warps your sideboard plan. And I want to just test out a few other things. So this way we get to play a different Karn that synergizes. We get to play some different cards in our sideboard. We're not all in on this tutor up a artifact card from our sideboard to try to win the game. I just don't think that's the kind of deck this is. We're lower to the ground. Killer Ragavan. Alright, opponents just got multiple Omnisciences, multiple One with the Universe, or Multiverse. Let's see, 19 cards in their deck. Anyway, so we're looking to be aggressive in the early game with we're playing Gideon. That's the other Gideon we're playing as a 1-drop, 2/1 Gideon. So we're looking to be aggressive with our attacks in the early game and eventually cast our Planeswalker and get value out of each of our Planeswalkers along the way until we can stick a Sarkhan and finish the game with 4 for flying Planeswalker Dragons. So Karn the Great Creator, while very powerful, just isn't as he's not at his best in this deck. In fact, we often are not even getting to 4 mana because we're losing our Urza Saga. Alright, well, Esper Citadel would be really good against our opponent's strategy, I would say. So we'll put in the Rest in Pieces. So I'm just chatting with our opponent. Alright, bring in the Rest in Pieces to fight their graveyard strategies. So they... pretty sure Omniscience casts the spell. From their hand. You may cast spells from your hand, yeah. So Containment Priest doesn't do anything to stop Omniscience. Solitude doesn't do anything, really. I think that's all we're going to bring in. So it doesn't look like we need too many lightning bolts other than for some reach. We're going to keep the relic. Solitudes probably, like I said, aren't going to do a whole lot. It does give us a clock, kind of. So I think we're going to keep... maybe they have an alternative sideboard plan, though. Take out the bolts for now. Otherworldly Gaze can get things that aren't. Alright, well, we're missing a land, but otherwise I really like this hand. Again, double Sarkhan the Masterless, though, is rough, but we are a Sarkhan the Masterless deck, so we want to be able to play it eventually. I guess maybe that's the mistake I make all the time, though, with this so far playing this deck, is just not being able to, or running out of action, not making our land drops because we keep 2 Sarkhan the Masterlesses in our opening hand. We'll see. So we hit the Urza Saga. We don't. Yeah, I mean, I was so quick to keep on for a couple reasons. One, Bolt is not gonna be what we want. One, because of the Esper Citadel and the Ragavan, and the Gideon Blackblade, but unfortunately we don't even have our second white source to play a Gideon on turn on curve, and then we can't even get the Esper Sentinel down because our land comes in tapped. So it's possible we should have played that whole hand differently with playing this land first, so that this turn we can play Ragavan and Esper Sentinel, and then Urza Saga next turn. Alright, so Solitude, or I don't know if that's really very good or not. Well, I guess we have something we can pitch we can pitch this Gideon Blackblade to it if we need to. So now we can we do have a clock to get our Relic of Progenitus. But man, we drew another 5-drop. So yeah, learning about mulligans, learning about what hands are good to keep. Like I said, this is our first match with this particular version, but our probably 4th match with Boros, Sarkhan the Masterless / Gideon Tribal. And if you've watched any of my Amulet Dino videos, you'll know that practice makes perfect, and you make mistakes along the way, and that's how you learn the deck. That's how you get good at it. And if you don't make those mistakes, unless you're really just a savant or whatever, then you're not gonna learn. So I really would have liked to posted some of the videos that didn't have sound. They were some fun games. Burning Inquiry, see if they pay for it. They might. Sure, keep me from drawing a card, and then we're going to discard, which is fine, I think, because we don't have a very good hand. Wow. So we were going to draw no lands. We drew 3 cards and discarded 2. So we drew another Sarkhan, a Ragavan, and a Karn, and discarded the Karn and Ragavan and kept the Sarkhan. So now we're going to do it again. There's one of our lands. Got rid of the Gideon. We did hit a land at least. Our opponent got a 1 with a Multiverse and a Master of the Way. So that's the other win condition. Draw a card, Master of the Way, deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards in your hand. I see. Got it. Okay. We're going to play this land. Go to combat. Talking to my opponent a little bit more, just trying to talk about the deck. Opponent may be running out of action finally, we'll see, or they can't get their piece. They're not getting their combo pieces. Alright, well, so we'll get the relic after this. That gives us something. Get another construct. Get the relic. Play a land. Play another Esper Sentinel. And attack with everybody. Okay, opponent says that the combo, there was a saga getting the relic, stopped him from, or her from comboing by 1 turn. So we'll try not to F6. Hopefully we'll be drawing some cards here. So we'll see what our if we can figure out our opponent's combo and the card that they're going to use to go off. They'll probably just some way to get their enchantment back from the graveyard, and they just scoop it up. All right, well, going to game 3. So I think we just run it back. We have the rest in pieces to nerf the graveyard. We have the relic we can search up, and yeah. Oh, wonder if our opponent's gonna redo their sideboard in any way. Be right back. I was just thinking, I was just wondering if we'd see our Gideon. There's the Gideon. So we're going to keep it. We probably should have mulliganed at least once for the rest in peace. If we really were going to try to win this game. But we're testing it out. And we know that Graveyard Hate shuts down our opponent. But we really just want to go ahead We could try to ensure to draw a card off of this Esper Citadel. See if I feel like my volume went down there for a second. Anyway, we could try to play the Esper, or we could have played the Esper Citadel there to draw a card, and I'm assuming they're going to kill our first 1-drop. And then, but next turn, we can play the Esper Citadel if they do kill the Gideon or the Kithian. We wanted to play Kithian because we have 2 of them. Okay, maybe I will live. Another white source would be good for this Gideon of the Trials. That's the word I couldn't think of earlier. Alright, now we can... Just going to play the Esper Citadel now, and then attack with the Kithian, see if they let us draw a card or not. Play a Ragavan. Alright, well, so next turn, if our opponent doesn't do anything, which they do have kill spells, so I imagine they have something, we get a flip Kithian, though. See if they can, they'll probably kill the Ragavan and pay for the Sentinel. Nope, we'll just draw some cards. They maybe are already, they're setting themselves up. Oh, a third Kithian. My opponent was like, games 2 and 3 are going to be tough, and I said, this is still a new deck, and we can have some clunky draws. Last game we saw 3 Sarkhan the Masterlesses. This game we're seeing 3 Gideons. Now, we did get in... Anyway, we really need to get some sort of... They put an Omniscience in the graveyard. We're in desperate need of... You may cast up to 1 target instant and or up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard, each with mana value X or less without paying their mana costs. If a spell cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Alright, so they're going to cast Resurgent Belief. We're going to draw a card. They're going to get an Omniscience. On turn 3. That seems fair. It's totally fair. Now, the one good thing, though, if there is a silver lining here, is that they only have 4 cards in hand. If they have their way to draw, we're going to draw a lot of cards. If they have their way of drawing through their deck, then we might be in trouble. And then we still have a chance here maybe to find an answer, although I'm not sure what it would be. This Otherworldly Light could take care of their that Prismatic India. Okay, so it looks like they're going to be running out of cards and that the game's not over yet, which is good for us. Now if we draw a Ragavan, we can dash it in and trigger this Gideon. Burning Inquiry. It's not good for us. They're going to draw... And there goes our Relic that we were going to draw, and our March of Otherworldly Light that we could have used to answer that enchantment they play that lets them draw through their deck. Now they have 2 cards that they fizzle. There isn't a fizzling. At the beginning of your instep, Flame Blitz deals 5 damage to each Planeswalker. It's pretty good. But we have a Gideon of the Trials for that. And Gideon of the Trials will stop that from happening. So that's going to be really nice. And also, I forgot, this only triggers once a turn. So after their first spell, they can keep casting spells for as often as they want. And then they will... they're down to one card. Let's hope that one card is not... We really could have used that Graveyard Hate there. They have a Faithful Mending, draw 2 cards and discard. Flashback, they can do that next turn. So we'll go ahead and attack. So Gideon the Trials is surprisingly flexible. Till your next turn. So we'll stop the Flame Blitz from happening, I'm pretty sure. So they're going to do one with the Multiverse again. That gives them 2 cards each turn. They're going to probably, if they don't have anything in their hand, they can flash back to Faithful Mending to draw 2 cards. So we're just sort of chipping away until they can go off with whatever their win con is. Yep. So they're going to still be at 1 card, but they get to look 2 cards deeper. And there's Song of Creation, so that's their big piece. It's still possible they could fizzle, it just isn't very likely. Stony Silence. That shuts down the Relic. They have 3 cards in hand, and again, it is possible from this spot that they can fizzle, but it's unlikely when they're, now they're drawing 2 more. We'll just have 6. Yeah, we got rid of our March of the Otherworldly Light, and we don't have the mana now anyway for it, open at least. But that's what our one answer to this to the Song of Creation, which lets them one of their combo pieces to draw through the deck. Yeah, I mean, turn 4 they're going to be probably Brotherhood's in. Yeah, turn 4 they're going to combo off and win. That's really sweet. And look at these cards they're playing. Like Omniscience, one with the Multiverse. These are huge spells. They're getting down. Opponent comboed off on turn 3, so good for them. It looks like fun. I guess we really should have mulliganed for that Rest in Peace. So another lesson when you're playing against this type of deck. Yeah, we had our Gideons. We had a different set of cards than we're used to playing, but now they're up to 19 cards. It's beautiful. We're testing it, so it's fun to try out a different hand. But when you're playing against a graveyard heavy strategy like this, and you have cards like Rest in Peace in your sideboard that you bring in, you at least want to mulligan once for them, unless your hand is just incredible. Because otherwise, as you see here, we really just don't have a chance. Our deck can't keep up with what their deck's doing without our Graveyard Hate, without our sideboard pieces. So you want to go ahead and mulligan and find those. And, we have taught some lessons here. Don't cast your own opponent's Burning Inquiry, sideboard for your Graveyard Hate. And let our opponent win with Thassa's Oracle. So for Johnny Cycles, this is cyclesgaming.com. I think I'm supposed to say that backwards. For cyclesgaming.com, this is Johnny Cycles. I'll catch you on the next one.
This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, and this has been another edition of Dragons in Modern. Be sure to go to my site and check out all of my original Magic the Gathering content, where I post articles and video of my janky modern brews in my commander decks. I'm also publishing a couple chapters every month for my science fiction fantasy novel called The Pod Kind. Check me out on YouTube as well. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.